Another shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Another shot is gonna hit you with a mind overloaded. Always open the door.
Apparently we don't get the intro tonight. Don't know why. Well. Difficult when it comes to technical difficulty. I am like the king, so let's try this one more time and see if it goes.
Welcome to another Shot Podcast, where our opinions might be real, or it could just be the liquor talking. Sit back and enjoy another shot.
Again, geez, oh man. You guys ever have just one of those days? Apparently this is going to be mine. Guys, welcome to another Shots Wednesday Night Open Bar. Damn, that's all I got to say on that one is damn. You know, hopefully when we do take our little break, the video I've got in store for us will hopefully go on without a hitch. So I will go ahead and drop this link real quick because I know I've got a buddy that is he should be up and ready. So hopefully our boy will be joining us here shortly. Otherwise, you guys get me for the next hour or so. I say, have you ever had one of those days? Because honestly, when you have a day where it just seems like nothing goes right, everything goes wrong, you know, let me hear from you guys. What do you do? Do you just run with it? Do you, feed into it? Do you fight back? Really, at the end of the day, there's what can you honestly do? And I say that because, there are times where you get put in a position to where it's just, in my experience, you kind of just have to step back and let the cards fall as they do. Because at the end of the day, what good does it do to just get pissed off, to start ranting and raving, storming around, whatever, however you deal with that, whatever's going on in your day. It's times like this where I sit back and, like today, I get a lot. I'm not going to lie. I do get quite a bit of content from work. So I kind of use that, and I don't throw anybody under the bus. I don't. Very, very rarely will I use names, but it just kind of, what I see at work kind of plays into your everyday, your daily, how you interact with people. Um, and what I do is customer based. So, I mean, it's not just your coworkers, it's the people you deal with that come in. Um, I don't even know where really to start. It's just basically, I guess my way, I've been trying really hard. I mean, I've always, ah, and of course, so I will say, buddy, my computer is going to be, it is trying to upload at the same or update at the same time of me doing this. Who this one? I used to be that guy that would scream, holler, and pitch a fit. I've got a really bad temper. I'll be honest, I do, and I really don't like letting it loose. But at the same time, it's very fuzzy. Like I said, it's trying to update, it's trying to do its own thing, and it is not wanting to be very cooperative right now. Again, I'm using my backup computer, so we're as long as I can be heard, we can still see, you know, decent enough. That's all that really matters. One of the things I've tried very, very hard to do is not lose my temper. Um, Now, do I still raise my voice? Yes. And apparently, according to some people, I raise my voice and don't even realize it. According to them, I feel like when I'm talking to people, for the most part, I keep it calm, even for the most part. But even I have that breaking point where it's like, ah, hello, Miss Nancy, how are you doing? Cause like I said, I do what I can to not yell and scream and lose my temper. I mean, it, I am one of those ones that do believe there is a time for that, though. Sometimes, I mean, you just have to let loose. Now, there's a lot of people out there that will argue that and say, no, losing your temper is never, it's never appropriate. It's best just to kind of keep your head. When I say lose my temper, I'm talking about really yelling and raising my voice, and I'm not talking about pitching a fit. Yeah, I still have to. Very hard not to do that at this point. But if you've ever seen the movie The Replacements, there was a line in that movie where Keanu Reeves talks about, what they were asking. The coach asked the team, "What's your biggest fear?" And people were, they were being goofy about it. Oh, bees, spiders, stuff like that. And Keanu Reeves makes the comment, quicksand. And I really like this because he goes on to explain how things seem to be going okay, and then one thing happens, and then another, and then another, and then and before you know it, you're neck deep and just struggling to stay above ground. I I personally, first of all, I'm one of those people. I hate to see other people upset. Now, I hate to think that I was the cause of somebody else being upset. That kind of triggers that soft spot that I have. So I'm constantly trying to find ways to avoid the confrontation. How can I talk about it? I'm trying that more and more at home. When you have an 11-year-old, trust me, as a parent, you guys all know that it's not always easy to keep that level tone. For me, some of those triggers are those people that don't want to discuss, that don't want to talk about what's going on. They want to argue. They have to argue everything. It doesn't matter what it is. And it's something we've brought up on here time and time again. That person that you could literally write it down on a piece of paper. You can say, look, dude, 1 + 1 = 2. And that person will find some way to say, no, you didn't factor in this little thing. And then before you know it, it's that, ever famous core math that we all fucking loved, that came out, a few years back, on a side note, I'll never forget trying to sit down and help my son with homework. And he kept telling me, Dad, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. And I'm like, no, kid, look, here's the answer. It's simple. 3 + 3 = 6, and that's when, like, but you've got to do this. You got to show that. You got to do, and as I'm looking through the pages, I finally found it. It said right there up in the upper corner, core math. So thank God that whole thing disappeared. But did it really? Because again, the people you work with, the people you associate with, the people you just bump into and start a simple conversation. Let's just like what I do here, bar talk. Let's see what he's got here. Not anymore with schools nowadays. No, that's why I said I'm so happy that thing disappeared. There are people that, and trust me, I was definitely one of these people, and I still, man, all of us hate our pride taking a hit. All of us. That no matter what, people will fight to the bitter end not to admit they're wrong. And every one of us knows people like that. Now, there's some of those that are going to immediately start pointing fingers. But sometimes you kind of have to look at yourself too. And maybe I'm that way as well. So am I feeding into it? Am I, is my pride because, oh, I'm not going to let this person, get the better of me. I'm going to keep going, Usually whenever I get, not usually, but more times than not, if I get into a debate, God forbid an argument, I make sure I have the facts to back it. But here's the thing, and I found out, I feel a lot better about this afterwards. What you got here, buddy? I feel attacked now. You should. Don't forget, dude, I'm bigger than you. Now, right here, what you see, obviously you see, I'm putting up the messages. This is my buddy. He, him and I just in 4 months have actually become very good friends. And what, honestly, there are times both of us disagree with each other, but there's not been one time we've gotten into an argument. There's not been one time we've yelled at each other. We've given the glances. We were just talking about that, Hooper. I know that glance, which I'll tell you, that particular day there was no glance. That was me just tired. I need to get the fuck out of here. It had nothing to do with you. So let's get that out of the way. Me and Hooper have found a common ground. Sometimes you just click with that other person. and we kind of knew right away how to talk to each other. And I'd like to think that he's seen very early on that I'm one of those ones. I'm not afraid to ask for help. Now, in my early days, yeah, I was a constant. I'd call for any one of my coworkers. Come over here and help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. But then once I started getting more comfortable and I started getting more into it, then I started getting more independent to the point now where I'm comfortable to say that I'm actually relied upon. And that just, but even I don't let that get to my head, because there's not a day that goes by where I say, I'm not comfortable doing this. Somebody come over here and give me a hand real quick. I'd rather, two of us get on it. That way we know 100% it's going to get fixed. Maybe I'm doing something that somebody else has seen. And there's times where people will call me over and do the same thing. And that's called communication. That's putting your pride aside, not thinking you're an all-star, that the place would absolutely shut down. The building would crumble to the ground if you were no longer there. That's the pride. And that's something that I think all of us, at one point or another have felt that. And I'm one of those people that I try to treat others as I would expect to be treated. And I've tried to let that be known. I joke. I joke hard. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's been multiple times where, it's just, you could see it on people's faces, like, you get them right to that point, but then you have to know when to dial it back and stop. Okay, we're at the breaking point now. The joke's not going to be funny here in 2 seconds. So you cut your losses and you go. You let them know, hey, I'm just joking. I would love one of my coworkers to see this, because very early on in my career, people were 100% that he was about to go absolutely nuts. And I was just sitting there. I picked every trigger point, and you could see the face getting redder and redder and redder. And then out of nowhere, like, something clicked. I think he saw it before it went past there. And he, despite himself, he smiled. And he's one of our he is the veteran in there. Yeah. But he saw it, which made me break out and laugh. And that's when everything, all right to accept other people doing that to you. Yeah. No, I got to disagree with that. Do I do it a lot? Yes. But today was definitely not one of those days. Hooper, we just had this conversation a little bit ago, buddy. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. The golden rule, the best way to live your life. And I agree with that, Wait a minute. What do we got? The smoking working thing? Give me a few more hints. I'm kind of confused on where you're going with that one. But like I said, I'm also one of those people, and I think this is something that, another reason why I've come to be relied upon is, when I do mess up, I don't make excuses. I don't say, well, this person did this, or I don't try to pass the buck. I own it. If I'm late, I own it. We all know the famous story. I made no excuses. I owned up to what I did. And I think people respected that. Now, does that mean I didn't get to eat some shit for a little while? Oh, yeah. But it was never malicious. They had fun with it. And I made my bed, so I slept in it. Let's see if they were outside. So that was yesterday, not today. I know exactly what you're talking about. Let me get this one up and out of the way. You're at your friend's house currently. Yeah, I got you, brother. I mean, it's all good. If you can make it, you can make it. If you can't, So yesterday, and these were two people that are very well known for kind of making little comments about others not working, others talking, others, constantly running to the store, because where we work, there's a store right beside us, and a lot of us like to run over there. We'll get some energy drinks or some Mountain Dews or maybe even a quick snack and run back. But that's an every person thing. These are definitely two individuals that feel like they're just nonstop. So when I apologize for that, folks. Again, uh, it's not just the computer. I'm dealing with a pretty nasty storm, and is always our best friend. So I took that opportunity to pretty well mess with them. I went out there and kind of dished back some of the stuff that they've been known to kind of dish out themselves. And it was, again, it was done in jest. It was fun, but I still, it's just one of those times, that poke, walk that line, toe that line, and you could see there was a little bit of, but at the same time, it's kind of dishing back what they've dished out themselves. And these are two individuals that, they're kind of like me, they can dish it out and they can take it. They probably just let, honestly, it probably went in one ear and out the other because they are to the higher, they've been there a few more years than me. Quite a few. But yes, like I said, I mean, that's just my way of, I guess you could say, stirring the paint a little bit. But what I try really hard not to do is get into a full-on argument with people. Especially now. One of the reasons we went on, so we've been trying to go on at 7. One of the reasons we were so late is we're going into part 2 of our busy season. So I've already been told it's going to be 6 days. We're looking at long hours, and it's going to be really fun coming up. So again, now we're trying to find a way to because of you stopping over. No, it wasn't just that. So what he's talking about, me and Hooper are really good for at least once a month, especially on a bad day. Today was a shit day, and we took the opportunity to kind of sit down. It was maybe about 20 minutes to just kind of air out some stuff, talk. Yeah, we had a few drinks, just kind of sipped at some stuff for a little bit, and calmed, gathered, and regrouped. I mean, that's just, here's that word, Hooper. That's the camaraderie I'm constantly talking about. That's again, this is one of the reasons why him and I get along so well, is because instead of getting pissed off and screaming and fighting and all this other fun stuff, I appreciate you, brother. I really do. And yeah, not much we can do on that. The timing, brother. I can guarantee that it's going to be really hard to go on at the 7 mark with everything that's been going on. But another thing, I already dropped the link, brother. I can do that again. But I was actually going to take this opportunity to go ahead and take a real quick break. And when we come back, I got some other points, and it sounds like we're going to have Mr. Hooper joining us. So we're going to take a shot in the dark here, guys. I'm hoping this works out, because it took a little bit last night, but I finally got it downloaded. I was talking to our friends. We refer to them our friends from Long Island, Resist the Temptation, and they finally completed the album, and here is their newest video. That's better. The Loudest Silence. And honestly, this is by far one of my favorites videos yet. Awesome song, guys. When we come back, there will be more. So we'll see you guys shortly.
Mutiny against the muted sun. Living bodies we don't own. I play a
You know, I hope that whole video played without a hitch because I finally had to switch everything over to my hotspot. That was kind of a pain. And, now that I'm doing that, I can't exactly, check to see. So you guys are going to have to kind of send me the, let me know if it worked out, please. But that was Resist the Temptation, the loudest silence. Awesome video, good stuff. Let us welcome to the stage my good friend Hooper. What's up, buddy?
Bud.
How's things?
Pretty good. Yeah, the video turned out pretty good. That was the first time I actually heard that. Watched it the whole time, so the audio and video was pretty good.
Good. So then it was just my end, it kind of froze up. That's fine. As long as everything else
Yeah.
went without a hitch, I'm perfectly content with that. Because I've watched
Oh,
it at least 3 or
looked
4
good.
times. It was good stuff. I really like those guys, and it's going to be in the near future. These guys, we're going to have them on here. Dylan, Ninja, thanks, brother. Much appreciated.
Great.
Yeah. So that
because
I'm still learning as I go.
I'm watching there's a little bit of delay, so we can talk everything. I can hear you, but I'm watching the TV for the response in the comments just so I could see what we say because my phone's too small.
Oh, so you're watching, dude? You got that brand new camera, man. You should be you should be rocking that thing.
I haven't set it up yet. I know I'm slacking.
Glad I could help.
Exactly. It's somewhere in my kitchen. I
But no,
mainly bought it for the TikToks because if I ever want to hop on, I mean, my phone just doesn't keep up with it.
Well, the fun part is now when I do my TikTok, I got the tripod. I found out now that Cat's gone that using my phone, people like it better. They like seeing that up close and personal, and seeing
We don't
it
want to look
actually.
at your ugly mug.
Everybody wants to look at my beautiful face.
Don't think about too much. That's giving you a complex.
I don't let my head get too big, but looky there. Kitty Cat says, bad boy Hoop.
No.
Mm. But yeah, obviously, like I said, I appreciate everybody for giving me all the content today. Made me really sit down and kind of, I know originally you were saying, we're be a bitch session. It's really not. It's kind of.
No, I said I would be a bitch session.
Oh.
Not us, just me, because I'm a whiny bitch.
Not as bad as some people I know, as we know.
Very true. Very true.
But like I was saying, I mean, it was. I do have little mechanisms and stuff, and stuff I do watch for. Oh. Oh, we could set it up. We actually had it up and running the other day. I hooked it up to one of the computers when he first
I'm
got
just
it.
lazy. I'm just being lazy, let's be honest.
You know what?
Showed me it works very well. I mean, there's
Once you get
multiple
home, you can be as lazy as you want, honestly. But at the end of the day, think about it. You did go out and you did buy it. You bought it for a reason, and it's kind of like people we know. There's a reason we do something. There's a reason we and they just go, eh.
Well, yeah, that's not a conversation that we've had with two people today. Like what, 2 or 3 times
Mm. Well, at
about
least with
other
one.
people?
At least with one.
With one, but about other people with the other one.
Yes. So this is why I'm a little frazzled about going in tomorrow, because I know, of course, somebody already know. We know for a fact that somebody's going to be. They're happy that I'm there on Thursday, because now they've got somebody that's kind of got their back. But
Yeah. That hey, Pot Pan is gonna be very excited about you being there. I'm happy about
the
you being there on Thursdays too, because that at least know that somebody knows what's going on.
the way I see it, there's definitely going to be some more OT. I mean, this is going to be a good one this week. I like it. But
To a
the,
point,
you,
yeah. To a point, because I mean, I don't know about you. I do like coming home and relaxing for a little bit before having a show or having to deal with people.
yeah, not gonna lie.
I told
Yesterday
you.
was very nice. Just kind of, you do need that 10-second breather. But even my 10-second breather, I sat down and I made sure I updated Spotify. I was going, I had bills to pay. I still did stuff with the show. I had to download more music, more videos, and so yeah. Kitty Cat will tell you, I'm one of those ones. I stay on the clock no matter what I do.
I used to, but as I've gotten older, I'm not even that old, let's be honest. But no, I started taking more time for myself because it used to be all work all the time, and then I started hating everything. So
Well, see, the thing of it is, it's the old saying goes, if you love what you do, you never work. So
I love
we would that
portions
was
of
the start of
what
our
we do.
conversation earlier. When you think about
Yep.
it, I was like, I used to be able to say that, fuck, this is the best job I've ever had. And then again, there's something in the air in the past month or so that's really got things twisted. This for me, doing this, does it get frustrating at times? Oh yeah, but I still
It's
have.
enjoyable.
I absolutely love doing this right here. This right here, sitting down and just kind of like, where we go? Hang on, more porn. You can tell Blue's home by himself.
Oh
Oh wait,
yeah.
no, he's not.
I mean, Blue. Yeah.
That's not a nickname. That's an adjective. That's a descriptive
Uh.
adjective. Sorry. So sorry, buddy. You know I love you, Blue. Blue's gonna
Blue
be in
ball.
here tomorrow night. You're my boy, Blue. Nah, he's gonna be in here tomorrow night for our sports show. Michael today, in between, you know, camera time. I hope you're watching, Michael. In between your camera time and radio time, did come up. He challenged us for our sports night,
I did see
and
that.
I gave him this morning all our college picks. So he sat down when he had the spare time, and he gave me a list. I'm interested in seeing how it turns out.
Okay. Well, what do you mean by spare time? I mean, all day while he just watched the camera watching us work.
See, you can say this because I'm the one that has to go in tomorrow. I'll hear about it. Or I'm,
Oh,
wait, I'm
dude, I
waiting for.
already
But
told
wait,
you.
there is the secret little ninja that likes to hide there, and no, not the ninja we all know and love, Dylan, but the other little ninja that will pop in there. Hello, Mr. John. He sits back, he just kind of enjoys and watches, and then as soon as you say up front, boom, that grabs their attention. But no, So here, this is a good question for you, and this is something I've kind of, obviously, I'm gonna have the three amigos, we'll call them, tomorrow. I mean, we're literally going to have Larry, Mo, and Curly. So
I know
I've already let
exactly
you
which
know
one
that
to name each one, though, too.
wouldn't be hard, would it?
No, not in the slightest, no.
So you deal with them on almost a daily. Whereas,
Yeah.
like I've said before, let's go with another old saying: when the cat's away, the mice will play.
But, yep.
One of the biggest problems we have, and this is something you and I have discussed, this is something I brought up at the very end of the day, kind of throwing it out there, throwing some shade
And
towards
we've
a
made the
particular
comment
person.
about multiple times because
Too
this
many
isn't just a
chiefs,
new thing. Yep.
too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Now, we've had people come over there. One person loves to absolutely just, as soon as something doesn't go their way, it's a temper tantrum every time. Stuff gets thrown in front of customers, so on and so forth. It doesn't matter. And then they go into full-on shutdown mode. And it's, again, this is what happens when somebody meets fuck it. Then you got another one we refer to as Mr. Emo.
I'm an emo kid.
Non-conforming as can be. You'd be non-conformist too if you were just like me. So he I don't know where all of a sudden, I guess his balls dropped maybe a little bit, because it wasn't all that long ago. I walk into the break room and he is bawling his eyes out because he had to be reprimanded. And I'm talking like alligator tears.
But I wonder who.
Dan is actually, he shot us a message a little while ago saying he's at a friend's house. So normally he'd be on here, but he is. I think he's watching like kind of on and off, doing what a lot of people like to do. But then you got another one that just is so attention starved that they get extremely loud.
You almost feel bad, but then they switch shit around, and then it's like I can't feel sorry for you now.
And then you've got another person that likes to come over when they're asked to help. And it is immediate. You'd have thought somebody's pit bull had been let loose from the chain. And it's just bark orders, bark orders, bark orders, bark orders, bark orders.
But they are a hard worker.
Barking that really gets me. It's the belittling, the constant, just the attacks.
Yeah, but that person put me in my place this morning whenever we were working, and they did their job probably 2.5 to 3 times faster than I could, and I'm a veteran doing it.
So that being said, every one of these guys, every one of these people can do the job.
Oh,
every one
and
of them
they
has
can
the
beat
skill.
me. That's all my goal is to make sure every one of you guys can do your job better than myself, and I am happy to see you guys do it. And then, I mean, half of us just fall on our faces.
But this is where the ego comes into play. Again, too many chiefs, not enough Indians. So instead of people wanting to work together, next thing you know, you've got this person trying to come in and just boss everybody. Another person getting pissed off because they want to do it this way. It should be done this way. They're wanting to scream and go on and pitch a fit, which causes other said person to go into shutdown mode and just start griping and going on. And then the other one that just, goes into complete turtle mode. Because, and my thought is, one feels like nobody likes them. Well, two of them definitely feel like nobody likes them. One wants to go into shutdown mode because they start feeling like they can't do anything right. The other one just, wants to, hey, What's a good way to
All I
put
can
it?
think about is the brownies today. That's all I'm saying. The brownies today. I really didn't help with that fact.
Well, I feel like they get into a position to where they're like, they don't feel like anything they can do is right, so they go into fuck it mode. So now you've got two of them into fuck it mode. Don't give a shit. Then you got the other person wanting to, they're just going to pitch a fit and go off on their own. Doesn't matter what anybody says. Hey, can you help me? Nope, they're on their own. They're going to disappear. And then another person who just really doesn't give a shit what people think because they feel like they are 10 times better than everybody. And the thing of it is, if you could put all that aside, could you imagine the team then?
But we've all shown that all of that shit put aside, we are a team to be reckoned with.
Very much so. And
it's painful to have to deal with the repercussions of, well, I don't feel like I'm cared about. Well, what are we going to do to fix that? Well, I don't know. And I did this for years, and this is how we did it here, and this is how we did it there. I don't care. This is how we're doing it here. My same spiel I had whenever we were in our earlier, busier season. We're going to be with each other more than we are with our families. We are family. We're stuck with each other from morning to night. We're going to get to know each other more than we will ever want to know each other. And that's where we were.
I feel like it should start with the communication. Instead of coming in and just barking, what about just saying, hey, and this is what I've done it with, I've done it with, others. The way I'll say it is, hey, I'm working on this. Can you start on this? And then I'll jump over here and I'll help you. Would you be so kind? Would you, almost like you're asking them, just talk like a person, make them feel like they are helping you instead of just going in, well, you're an idiot, you're an idiot, you're an idiot. So I'm going to tell you, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do that.
And that's where the ego really comes into it, because we have enough people that have been doing it long enough that they're like, well, I'm good at doing this, I'm good at doing that. And we had the conversation with about somebody else that said, well, I've done it this way and I've never had an issue. Well, because you're not dealing with the issue. The rest of us are dealing with the issue.
Well, it's not just that. When you do something specific, you're so used to doing it that I'm going to refer to it as the half-ass way.
Yeah.
Because let's go this way. You and I both know what I'm talking about here. So there's a specific job that gets done that we have determined the results is 50-50.
Yeah.
And most of the time, none of us ever check after we put the seal on there and all the other stuff, after we've aired everything up where they're supposed to be. How often, even just in the normal aspect of it, we're doing a quick TCO. How many times have you just absolutely grabbed the spray bottle to check to make sure the bead's not leaking?
So it all depends on, I'm not going to say I do it all the time. I'll be honest, I don't. But when it depends on the situation. Like, for instance, I'll drive my Chevys till I die. I like my GM, but they have an issue with flaking rims. If I'm ever doing something along those lines, of course I'm going to double check them to know that I did the job right. But if it's something as simple as, we'll just say a Toyota rim, just something simple, we clean that up, we bead seal it, we throw it on. I don't have to worry about that because the rim's not corroded to the point where it's bad or flaking, so it's going to continue to leak.
So here's my example.
It's still the half-ass job. Yes.
Remember when I said, hey, I want to take this tire all the way off, because the last time when I just popped the one side, changed out the sensor, threw the bead seal around it, filled
do
it
the
back up,
half-ass job.
it still was leaking.
Exactly. Yes.
And you even at one point had said, well, because I went over and said, dude, I found out it's better if you do it this way. You went, no. So just out of jest, what did I do? I poured the soap water to it. And you were kind of like, well, so, I mean, does it happen where it does seal properly? Yes. But why take the chance? And instead of saying, I know for a
Take
fact
the
mine is
extra
always
minute.
going to be, oh, it's never. When have you actually ever sat down and checked just to double check and make sure? Because, I mean, you can clean all day long.
I'll be
We just had
honest,
this.
it recently less than what it used to be. Whenever I was newer to it, I checked them a lot more. But the same of, oh, well, I've done this 1,000 times. It's fine. I'm still probably wrong. We'll be honest. I mean, it might still have a little bit of something. I didn't do that for the longest time until I'll give you the props. You showed me that, hey, I did this. This is the exact way that you've done it a million times. It's still an issue. Now I have to rethink it. Now I agree with you. No, what I'll continue to do like what I used to, tear it down, make sure everything's perfect. Because I'd much rather have a customer be happy, and us not to have to redo a job like we had to do. Well, I'm not going to name names, but today where we did a job, then had to redo the job because somebody didn't think.
And that's, and this is why, I mean, I've shown I could be fast, but I would
Yep.
rather take that extra few seconds. And this is why I can honestly say, in the 4 months I've been there, there's other people that have had more returns, more complaints than me. It's because I sit down and I take that extra step to make sure it's done right. You don't
Yep.
ever want to sacrifice quality for speed, because that's how people get pissed off. That's how people don't want to come back. That's how people. And then when you turn around and say, "Look, hey, we had we had one come back. This was done wrong." How many times have you had to tell people that, "Hey, we had this comeback," and they went, "Well, I know, no," but this person, that, and then all of a sudden,
that person.
it's never their fault. That's the other thing.
And
You have to own
the
up. If
same
you fuck
argument
up,
I
you have
have
to own
is,
up.
and the same argument I have is the same thing that we've even talked about before, where you've looked at it, you touched it, you are as guilty as anyone else that did the exact same thing.
Hence the reason
Which,
I got onto a certain person the other day over something as simple as paperwork. Don't
exactly.
half-ass it, because guess what? My name's on there too.
Which one of our people that we have does get really mad, really pissed off when I say guilty by association. The three
Yeah.
things I always got, I wouldn't say in trouble for, but people knew I was going to come up with is you're guilty by association, because it's true. It doesn't matter where you're at. You did something, you're around that person. You're guilty because you're around that person. You're guilty by association.
And that's why I say, I mean, people have to remember, we're not a group of individuals there. We're a team at the end of the day. We're supposed to be watching each other's backs. 100%.
See,
If
I
you
like
see
to go
me,
with the
you've done it with
aspect
me.
of,
You see me messing up. Hello, Miss Robin.
hi, Robin.
You've come over to me and you said, dude, you're doing it. Torquing. Not twerking, guys. Torquing.
I mean, I can do both.
I can do both. Oh, yeah. So
I suck at the
you
one,
asked
but
me
it's
why
okay.
the one day, and you even said, I'm not bitching you, but why are you doing it this way?
Yeah.
Because, there is a certain way you're supposed to do it. And what did I say to you? You asked a question, I gave the answer. Because it
Yep.
might not be 100% directly across, but I'm still far enough, especially on a 5-point, that whenever I do it this way, every other one still comes out at the end. And you somewhat agreed with that. So
Yeah, I did agree. But then I also showed you that
somewhat.
we actually have a chart that said this is how you're supposed to do it. Because I agree with your way better than the way you're supposed to.
But that doesn't always make me right either.
No, but I can't fault you for that because I would agree with exactly how you did it. You're still hitting every single one. You're just not doing it in a full start. You're just skipping one, moving to another, skipping one, doing another. To me, that sounds like that would work a lot better than skipping a few, hit one, skipping a few, hit one.
Now, when you get it, obviously when you get to like and I'm smart enough to know this. I got enough common sense to say, okay, so I've got 5 here, that will work. Okay,
Yep.
6. Now you're starting to push it a little bit because you go 1, then another, then you skip and you go to the next one, and then you got to skip 2 to get back to where you were at to go in that direction. Does it work?
6 and 8 are the
Yeah, but
easiest.
now you're starting to toe that line. When you get to like 8, 8 stems that you got to tighten down. Yeah, you might want to go ahead and follow that pattern. And that's why I said I'm not going to say I'm any better than anybody else because I do find ways it works for me. Does that mean it's the right way, the way the company, the charts and everything?
Nope.
You're kind of reinventing the wheel, and that doesn't
Mhm.
make it right. Wait, hang on. What do we got? Just like one time I brought car in and person said it's yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Exactly, Blue. Exactly.
Yes. I knew 100% that there was a leak.
I did too.
I told said person, this vehicle is coming in. It is a stem leak. It is leaking really bad around the stem. I'd already tested it out the night before. I knew it. Said person goes out, sprays it down, says, oh, I doubt they did the stem. I think they just went, it's not leaking. Head on. And guess what? They came back. I brought somebody out with me.
Who was second in charge that knew what he was talking about.
And 2 of us looked at it, and
Mhm.
I went right to the spot. Boom. And sure enough, it was the Fortress of Solitude. The bubbles that came up, letting you know that the air is being released. I mean, it's just, again, do not sacrifice quality for speed because that
Remember
is
that
how
lost it
people
today?
get pissed off. That's how we get returns. We have one of the most laid back managers. He's awesome. The store manager.
Yeah.
All our managers are awesome. They really are. But again, in the last month or so, you can see that changing of the winds. That things are the waters are like starting to ruffle. It's getting bad, and I think it's because people are starting to get too complacent. Those egos are really starting to kick in. I'm not gonna lie, this is not me being big-headed, but I think there's a little bit of I've come in there in 4 months, and they're like, oh, when you have Isaiah come back, oh, yep. When you have somebody come back and said, you know what, I might not have
Nobody
a lot to
knows
say,
who he
but
is. We haven't talked about him very much. No one knows who he is.
that was my bad on that one. But when you have said person come back and say, well, I don't have a lot of pool around here, but I'm looking around, and I'm letting you know you're in charge back here. That was heard by a couple people, and it did not sit well. So when I say I think there's a little bit, I'm not going to say jealousy, but there's a little bit of ego
There's
involved.
It's a mixture of both. Let's be honest. I mean, we have people that have been in the industry since the early 2000s, and their boss has only been in it since like 2020. How do you think the ego and the pride's going to be? your boss is somebody that has like 5 to 6 years of experience over 12. But if somebody can show that they can improve, then that's where they're at.
Well, here's the thing. You know, originally, remember, I got turned down the position.
I know, which I'm very happy that
I fought for it.
you pushed. I'm very happy that you pushed for it because having you there has helped a lot more than not having you. We'd be working with a lot more kids. That's what I'm saying.
And I've tried to let them know, I've tried to take a couple of them under the wings. Like, here, dude, use my example. Not, get twisted the night before and come in 3 hours late. That's not a good example. I'm going to bust on myself for that one for a while. You know I will.
I was going to say, last time I'm going to bring this up, but I mean, you proved by example with that one. I've never had that, but at the same time, I really have because I was getting married and I came into the shop and I probably shouldn't have drove to work to help out. I smelled like Fireball from my sweat. And we already know how Fireball goes. But I smelled like Fireball through my sweat. So that tells you I drank a half gallon and then drank more.
I can only imagine. I wonder what alcoholic banana and whipped smelled like the next day.
Oh, it was not good. It was not sweet. It smelled like ass.
Dude, I even had cologne on. I'm not going to lie, guys. So, I mean, and,
That's why I don't touch,
that
because
goes into
we've
the
all
next little
been there.
point. We literally had somebody the very next day. I caught what Bill had.
Oh, that
LOL.
pissed me right the fuck off.
Not just you. Not just you.
Oh, so you're telling me you got drunk last night? That's what you're telling me, huh?
That is literally what just got. You literally just admitted that. And I even
Yeah.
talked to the higher up that showed me the actual message. I'm like, did he really
Yeah.
say that? And he goes, pulls out his phone. I said, so this is a person saying, oh, well, he did it, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. And I gave him hell for 4 days straight, saying, if you're really going to be that stupid,
Did he
you
come
gotta
in
wear
and bust
that
his ass
thing.
the very next day? Did he come in and,
Mm-mm.
apologize? Did he try and make up for it? No, he came back in business as usual. And, everybody else was mad about it because, one of our coworkers, he goes, dude, you openly admitted to people, you didn't hide it. You didn't joke about it. You didn't make fun, you didn't take light of it.
You did something stupid, you owned up to it. That's all it is.
And then to have somebody turn around, that was kind of,
That's an asshole move.
I would rather you mess up,
Yeah.
on something simple than turn around and do something as juvenile as that.
As somebody says that where we are, it is a cancer that is growing upon the group. I'm not naming names, but that is something that has stuck for the last how many years that really makes you think about it.
Well,
It is a cancer that is growing amongst the group.
And I'm not gonna lie, there's times where I'm thinking, is it me? I wonder.
Me.
I wonder that because let's be honest. There's not many jobs that will let you get away with what I did.
You really haven't earned past that, but you did, if that makes any sense.
Well, first off, I have to keep my word, and I gave my word to the boss man. I would never do that again.
And you haven't.
And I made adjustments,
Yep.
but just like at work, let's take that situation out of it. At work, again, if you mess up, try not to repeat the same mistake.
You own up.
The result
You
might
say,
happen, but
"This
if it happens in a
is
different
something I
way,
did." Yep.
like the other day, 2 sensors back to back. One of them, luckily, was not me. And that was right after. That was even a bad week. Broken sensor, broken sensor, broken sensor, broken sensor. I can kind of feel for the person, that kind of got on like, hey, what the hell's going on back there? That shouldn't happen.
And do you remember what happened today?
Specifics.
Second in charge broke one.
Nice. I did
After
not know
4
about
years.
this.
And I gave him the same spiel I did to you. Because we've all been there. We've all made mistakes. You own up to it. And then he informed me that another one of them were bad. So I told him, you replace the one is on us. You figure out what you did wrong, and you fix yourself to that. I pride myself, and I'm not gonna say I've never broke one. I've broke plenty of sensors. You learn from what you did, and you move on. Dude, I broke probably my nickname at work used to be Stud because I broke studs every month.
Remember, it was center caps for me for the longest time. I couldn't even look at one without it breaking in half.
Somebody else. At least you don't have spare tires like someone else. We still have a group of like 6 of them.
But that's the thing.
Luckily, we got rid of 3 of them, but still.
One of the things I thought about was I'm going too fast. I'm not taking my time. I'm way too early in the game to be trying to keep up with everybody else. And I still stand behind that now. I would rather take a few extra moments. I don't give a shit if you get pissed off at me, because you think you're God's gift back there, that you're the Flash of the garage world. I am going to make sure 100% or die trying. I'm going to fall on my shield on this one. I would rather take the extra second to make sure it's done right, to make sure I don't break something, to make sure it's full, all of it. All it is just an added, like, maybe 1 minute? It's just a few seconds. Take that few seconds.
Not even. You can't even say that. You make sure you do it right. Takes an extra 10 seconds.
And then, customers buy pizza for you, Hello, beautiful. I'm looking at you. She is. And she smiled. See, I can make that woman smile.
It's because you're so wonderful, Bill.
I am such a nice guy.
Little man went back to bed.
No, but you have to be willing to compromise. You have to be willing to admit that you're not always right. I try and say that at home too. I try to say, you're right. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I try to be that one to.
We're all human.
But again, you still have those people that, they've got that attitude. They have to prove something. Whether it be, it didn't work this time. It'll work this time. Nope, it didn't work this time either. Well, third time's a charm. Well, that one didn't work. It's like I said at work today. I asked you, I said, what is the definition of insanity? And you said it perfectly. repeating the same process over and over, expecting different results.
And that's why I know I'm insane.
We're all a little insane. It's there you go, a little psycho Anthony Perkins.
Hey, all I'm saying is I tell you guys the same flippin' shit, and the same people do the exact same thing, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm trying to teach you, and it's the same result, and I'm hoping for something different. I'm an insane person. It's fine. I'm very
Well, the fun
insane.
part is, again, I tried to lead by example. And when I say lead, that doesn't mean I'm trying to I'm the leader, I'm the boss. No, I try to lead
It
by
doesn't matter.
example.
I mean, when you're saying that, I know what you're trying to say is
Well,
I'm
I'm saying that
trying
for
to
everybody
lead
else.
by the fact of if I'm making a mistake, this is how I would fix it. This is what I would do. Great. That is exactly how a team should work. We don't have that.
But the thing of it is,
So,
my point is, I am independent. Obviously, I don't like people standing right over top of me. Now, yeah, you guys have fun with it. I get a kick out of it. Dan, our boy, he's second in command. The whole lean over with his hands behind it.
I'll
But-
do that just to piss you off.
And it works like a charm. You might as
I
well play
know.
King Cody Club next. No,
Oh, no. We won't play that in the shop. That is the worst song to play.
yeah, somebody found out real quick. No, but do the job. You can go ahead and work, but you have to be willing to, instead of, oh, that tire's completely stretched out and it's not wanting to go. Don't fight through it. That's how you break it. That's how you break heads on the machines. That's how you rip the tire. If it gets to a certain spot, stop. Just stop. And you say, hey, can you give me a hand? You don't have
And
to
I'll give you props for
it
that.
shouldn't be Hooper every 2 seconds. It shouldn't be second in command every 2 seconds. But don't be afraid to get in there
Unfortunately, we
and
hear
ask
that a
for
lot,
help.
though.
Huh?
Unfortunately, we hear that a lot, though. Can someone please help me with this? Can somebody please help me with this? Can somebody please help me with this? And what is the answer usually? You push it down a little bit more and it's solved.
Now that one's on me. That's one of my problems.
That's not directed towards you. That's directed towards 2 other people.
Well,
And
I'm
with
notorious
that
for that.
moment, I'm also going to say, lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Ah, yes.
Why the hell would you try to tighten something that needs loosened off? All I'm saying.
I start, when it gets to a certain point, I start to second guess myself. Like I said, this is where my pride kicks in. I don't want to mess something up. I would rather somebody come over, help me out real quick. I don't care if it pisses you off, but help me out for 2 seconds, and then I'll leave you alone. That's all I need is just that 2 seconds.
Without being a dick or whatever I act like, it makes me so happy to be, hey, can you come over and help me? Well, this is how I would do this. And then I do what I would do, and it works. So it makes me feel like I'm doing better because I'm showing you this is how I do it, and it works every time I do it. But not everyone's the same. You proved you can do shit I can't. Which makes me happy as hell because you just shown that I can't do something that you can do. You're better than me.
It didn't take long to figure out just a little bit of common sense.
That's all it takes.
Stop. And normally, here's another reason I like to say I try to lead by example. I don't, as soon as it happens, I don't, save me. Like the tire stretched, it stopped. I can't, it won't go anymore. I'm worried. So I'm going to back it off. I'm going to try again.
I tried 2 or 3 times. Now it's stuck.
Now I'm going to call somebody over and say, okay, what am I doing? I never say, hey, I can't do this. I always say, hey, what am I doing? I can't figure out why I cannot fix this right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's, I don't know. Maybe like I said before, I mean, over the years, I've grown to have a different standard. I don't need to go out and do something to prove that I can just do it. I'm not afraid to ask for help. Remember, I was inviting I bought everybody food. I offered, beverages, all sorts of stuff. Just come over and help me with the bar.
Yeah.
I've got a lot to do in a very short amount of time. I'm not afraid to ask for help. I like working as a
What are
team. I
you
like
doing,
working as a
Brian?
group. But then that's when I first found out about somebody. It doesn't matter what it is, they have to try and run the show.
And
And
that's just an asshole thing.
there's certain things that did not get done properly. So,
Which I still agree with. Certain things that person said would have made it look good, but for them to just abandon the whole idea really screwed it over.
I mean, at the end of the day, I will say this.
It
Stuff got
works.
done. It did work. It's just,
I still got to add something to the bar.
oh, technically you did.
That's not a technique. I mean, I wanted you to have it because I thought that would be awesome.
Oh, you added
But-
to it, and you got us the I can say it on here, the shot glasses. So
I ruined the shot glasses though that night.
no, you did not. I was washing them the next day, and they literally they just peeled the little pictures on them just peeled off.
Do you know my nickname at work? I have to do something along those lines because then you'll have part of me at the bar. I mean, I like to be there at least once a week, if not longer.
Well, at the same
If it
time,
wasn't for the fact if I had a family, I'd be over there right now.
well, here's the fun part.
Yep.
I feel what you've done in here. You gave us an awesome tire. You brought shot glasses in, dude. I'm sitting here with peach sake, regular sake, and I got chocolate crown, which I did promise you I was going to bring back. It's
I
still
don't
sitting
want you
there.
to bring it back. I want me to have more stuff over there. I mean, I also have this, but it might not last the night.
Ah, yes. With the and we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up because we are pushing the hour and a half mark.
That's
Again, we were doing the Halloween drinks for a while. Things that it's time. And I even challenged you on this one for Monday night, which is coming up. We need to go out and maybe if we can get just that little bit of a moment before, we can run out and we can look for like some of the seasonal stuff.
Oh, dude, that would be so great. We might have to do it either Sunday or Monday.
And I'm game for either one.
I think that would be awesome.
And you know what the best
it
part
would
is?
be very informative for all of our viewers.
Now is the time to start hitting some of the state stores because there are going to be a lot of really cool sales going on. They'll do the gift boxes with glasses, all sorts of neat stuff.
Oh, I know. I almost bought a couple just so I could have glasses.
I mean, if you guys that don't know, from like here over is full of glasses. I am looking forward to the time to where this, I have everything else set up in here the way I need it to, where this whole thing right here, yeah, it'll be a while before I have to do dishes. But when I do, so on that note, folks, we have done our due diligence tonight. I want to thank everybody for popping in and checking things out. Hope you enjoyed the content. Sorry about the earlier. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes my hotspot works, sometimes it doesn't, and luckily it, seemed to work out decent. I'm going to take a. Oh, we'll see you, Blue. For you, those of you that are on TikTok, I plan on going on for a little bit. We'll see how things go. I'm gonna have to make sure I set a timer. But yeah, check us out tomorrow night for our Thirsty Thursday Thoughts and Shots Sports Edition.
They have Blue back on.
Blue will be joining us. Bobby will not, I found out, be joining us tomorrow night, but we'll have 6ix9ine. Blue, dude, we're gonna shoot for 7, dude. We're going to bust our ass to shoot for 7 o'clock. But we're still gonna have 6ix9ine, and we now have a challenger. This individual is very well known to question Blue our picks on Thursday night. Why would you do that? Why would you do this? So I actually got his list sitting right over here. We'll see how it coincides with all of ours. Honestly, I was looking at it, Blue, and I think we're going to be pretty close on it. So I'm interested in seeing how it goes.
All I'm saying is he asked why he wasn't part of the draft in the first part and all the fantasy.
I swear up and down I told those guys about the draft, but
they don't remember it.
I mean,
I'm sure you told them, but
2 people at work, Blue. They wanted to be in. They were upset that we did the fantasy league, and that I did not invite them. And I swear up and down I did. That would have made 12. That really would have made things interesting. Because I don't think we would have had a lot of us.
I appreciate the gesture, but I don't want to join the fantasy because I am a little bit stupid with sports. So I watch what I watch, and that's all I know.
But yes, we do have a person that wants to challenge, and he has given us his picks. He wants to see if he can actually beat us.
I can't wait.
It doesn't matter whether he wins, loses, or draws. He's, all it's going to take is one win. He's going to be like, "Ha, told ya," and we're not going to hear the end of it. Love you, buddy. You know I do. Guys, check us out Sunday night for our Sunday night weekend hangover. It is our weekly recap and open talk. Our Monday night bartender, and then we round it out always with our Wednesday night open bar. Hoop, appreciate you popping in here, brother. Like I said, I'm going to be jumping on TikTok for a spell, and
probably be on.
Looking forward to talking to everybody. Blue, that goes for you too. If you want to pop in, feel free. Guys, everything we say on this show is just our opinion. But then again, I'm going to do it this way. Oh, go ahead, Hooper.
It just may be the alcohol talking.
Truer words have never been spoken. Guys, you all have a good night. We'll see you later.
Thank you for stopping in and listening to the Another Shot podcast. We shared some drinks, stories, and laughs. But it's time to say goodnight. Join us next time on Another Shot podcast.
If you're looking for a party, then man, have you found it? Now the shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Now the shot is gonna hit you with the mind overloaded. The bar is always open with no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories twitching. Just remember, everything we say is just our opinion. But then again,